And once again, we're going to keep it safer with Schaeffer. John Schaeffer, that is. Always good to see you, John. This is the time of the year. All you got to do is get anywhere near a lake, and you see the boats getting toward the water, the boats on the water, people bringing their craft out. You got some words of advice from them. Right. You want to make sure that you're covering any eventualities on the boat.
So it's boating season this year, guys. So some great tips here for you, for everyone. So what can boat insurance cover? So it covers property damage, so the boat itself, the engine, the lower unit, especially we've got one company that you can actually insure, it's called Propulsion Plus, where if you run your motor aground, it's going to cover that lower unit.
Okay.
So that kind of helps. That's on property.
Yeah.
Collision damage. Boats this time of year, jet skis cut in front of everyone. You may collide with another boat.
It can happen. It does happen.
That's right. So bodily injury liability, that's a big one. If you're out there and someone's skiing and they get injured or hurt, that bodily injury can protect them. Or if you run into someone else's boat and you injure that person.
You have to be considering both sides of the equation.
That's right. That's right. So hull coverage. That's a big one this year too. I see a lot of these bigger boats on Table Rock Lake, and they're creating some big wakes. You're responsible for your wake at the lake.
Yeah, so whatever you're creating, you're responsible
for.
So
if somebody jumps a 10-foot swell of yours and damages their boat, they could come back on you.
Okay. See, that's something I don't think everybody realizes. So your wake's out there, somebody jumps, cracks a hull, you're going to be picking up the tab.
Right, and you're responsible for your wake if you damage a boat dock, so that you're liable for that.
Let me ask you one more question, because we're talking about the boats, but when people are taking the boats to the lakes, they have them on trailers. Separate thing altogether?
You can combine the trailer policy with the boat. And then some people bought trailers with their boats, and some people just have their boats on lifts at the lake. So what's the best kind of insurance? So here at the Resource Center, we customize your insurance. Like we talked about, maybe you don't have a trailer, so we don't have to insure the trailer, or maybe you do. So agreed value versus cash value. So agreed value, if you give $100,000 for that wakeboard boat, we're going to give you $100,000 if it gets destroyed. Now, over a certain amount of years, it goes to actual cash value.
Sure, I would understand that. And only buying what you need. Again, this is not like a one-size-fits-all place.
Right.
I mean, you're talking to people and you're going to say, well, you don't need this. You do need this. So don't just say, oh, I could do that kind of thing on the internet very easily. It's a good idea to have, someone like yourself, a person who knows all of the ins and outs to do this.
That's right. Especially with bass boats, everybody's getting more expensive bass boats with live scopes. So that's one thing that we ask the customer and make sure that we know the ins and outs. Wakeboard boats, you've got your wakeboards you got to insure. All that stuff falls under personal property and whatever kind of attachments you've got to your boat.
Right, and we were talking earlier also, it's a whole lot different insuring a John boat versus a cruiser out on the lake.
That's right, So you want to know, you can't just jump on the internet yourself. You can, but you may not be fully covered.
It's always a good idea to speak to an expert.
That's right.
You look at it, especially an independent one.
Right.
All right. Cost. That's right. What people want to know that.
The type of boat. If you've got, a houseboat, it's going to be more expensive than a regular bow rider boat. So just really depends on the cost.
And then, of course, the usage.
Right. So if you're just using your boat a couple times a year, that's different than like a bass boat when you may fish 12 months out of the year. In the middle.
So your usage is much more, so therefore the percentages change about what might happen.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, people looking for more information would like to be able to contact you. How do they do it?
That's right. So all you got to do is call 417-766-4689, or you can scan the QR code, and then I'd be happy to grab your insurance, shop it for the new boating year.
See, so if you're going to have a boat on the water, keep it safer with Schaeffer.